New Year.
It is the Keep 1 Million show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
And it is the 2nd of January, 2025. And the New Year's have gone off with, I don't want to say what I want to say, but it's gone off with a B, if you know what I mean. A bang.
Yeah, bang.
Literally.
Yeah.
And I say that to say condolences to all affected by the New Orleans tragedy.
Yes, sir.
In Bourbon Street. A madman with a truck ran down a bunch of people in New Orleans, Bourbon Street, on January 1st, hours before the bowl game, the quarterfinal game of Georgia versus Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And he was a ex-military.
Yep, Army vet.
Yeah, Army vet. There's, video of what happened. His pictures out there. I guess he was of Arab descent. The crazy thing, the same thing happened almost in Vegas as a Cybertruck blew up in front of the Trump Towers. Hours, in between. That was at 3 a.m. This was at probably 8, 9 a.m. in Vegas. Come to find out, a Army veteran or a military veteran ended his life right by the Cybertruck. They're still investigating. Not sure if these are related, but it looks extremely related. And you're you're a military vet, Sean. What is your feelings about this situation?
Well, people have to realize. Well, first, let me say condolences to the families and the people that have lost people, and I pray that people that were injured they can get through their trauma, because they're going to go through some type of therapy and everything. So let's send prayers out for the families of those people. We can't necessarily blame the Army or anything. We're not blaming the armed forces, because you don't have to. The Army or their armed forces can't say, oh, because you're Arab descent you can't come in. That's discrimination. That we dissolved that back. During World War II, you can't do that. So how I feel about it is, it's sad. It's sad because it just goes to show you that just because you serve your country doesn't mean you don't want to do damage to it in some way. Now, I have a feeling that this person, more than likely, he probably, because a lot of people get their ideologies while they're in, and their thoughts become morphed, and then they get out and they become extremely radical. Because believe it or not, there are a lot of people that go into the military that are not necessarily patriotic. They're going for particular reasons, to learn a skill. There are a lot of people that do this. It's just not people of Arab descent. It's a lot of white militia people that do it. They go into the military. They get their military training. They stay in for about 4 to 8 years, 4, 6, 8 years. They get the training. They get out and they use that training for their militias. Just Google it, look it up. It's people that do that all the time. It's just not people of Arab descent. So, can the armed forces do better at filtering? Maybe, but it's a lot. It's a lot of people that I mean, you can get through it. So
Right.
so this is not normal because a lot of vets are not doing stuff like this, but it's just really sad because it puts a bit of a black eye on the armed forces.
Right. And I saw a timeline where he had did a tour in Afghanistan
Yeah.
from '09 to 2010. Do you think that was where he was radicalized, or was it maybe later on, or
Who knows?
not? Yeah, you can't really
Who
tell.
knows?
I mean, these have gone on years prior with ex-military being radicalized. I think it was an incident in Fort Hood, and they arrested people that was going to do something that were ex-military, or they end up, you know, committing suicide beforehand. And I know PTSD is something. People leaving the military and having problems. They said he had problems with divorce and child support, and these things kind of building up.
Yeah.
It seems like with all that, and then my opinion, somebody was in his ear trying, getting him going, and everything just boiled over. But the FBI and everyone's saying that there's other people because there were IEDs around the area, so it wasn't just him and his truck. It seems like it's a bigger thing that's going on, and I hope everyone is vigilant and aware, and kind of have your, how say in sports world, head on a swivel, because it seems like 2025 is going to be that year where you're going to have to be very vigilant. The issue with the Cybertruck at the Trump Tower, Trump is going to be in office, going to be president. Elon Musk is going to be part of the cabinet or extended cabinet. So that was kind of symbolic, a Cybertruck at the Trump Tower. That could be a political statement against Trump. Did you have any thoughts on that situation?
That's a lot. I'll wait for the proof to come out for that, because it is a symbol. Oh, it's a Tesla truck, and it's in front of Trump Towers. Okay, but that's, to me. I just want to see the evidence come out more to see what these people were particularly thinking before I delve into conspiracy theories.
Yeah, I understand it. It was just putting things together, pictures of propane tank and fireworks and things in the trunk. Elon Musk making a statement saying that it wasn't the truck, it was the contents inside of the truck. Coming to find out, there was a man who's ex-veteran who committed suicide. Was he the one that drove the truck? That remains to be seen.
I'm not making excuses for him, but honestly, this nation, this country could do a lot more for veterans.
Oh, exactly.
It could do a lot. It could do a lot more. I'm not saying that you got to give us everything we want or anything like that, but a lot of veterans are going through it, and they feel like this is the only way to bring attention, or this is the only way they can ending it this way is the best thing. So it shines a lot of light on the mental health of some of these men and women.
Right.
They need help.
There was a big issue here in Phoenix about the VA. I think it was about 5-6 years ago, and they had to do a whole congressional hearing about it because the veterans weren't getting the proper services. I mean, some of them weren't even getting seen. There was a whole situation around the VA hospital.
Yeah.
And it is a major problem. And being to say a lot of veterans end up homeless. You know, a lot of veterans end up, like you said, with mental issues, PTSD and whatnot. So it has to be a help for the veterans, and then there does need to be some kind of, I don't want to say a vetting process. I mean, they have their vetting processes and whatnot, but to couple times slip in the cracks where it comes to someone like this man who does this heinous act in New Orleans, you know, right before a football game where there's hundreds of thousands of people at in New Orleans, you know.
And the Super Bowl is going to be there in about a month.
Exactly. So it screams a dire warning right now, and so yeah, we gotta, you know, shout out the families and the people that are involved, and give them, you know, all the help they need. You know, moving to the game, Notre Dame, I think, did something nobody thought they could do, is beat Georgia, and they handily beat Georgia.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
I know they're not going to have, you know, any excuses about what happened being pushed back 24 hours and a little bit earlier than 24 hours because it was a 4 o'clock Eastern kickoff versus a 5 or 6 o'clock. Georgia didn't have their starting quarterback, Carson Beck. Their backup came in. He did a good, serviceable job, but early turnovers, which turned into scores, a special teams 98-yard kickoff return for a touchdown in the beginning of the third quarter, and Notre Dame basically shut down Georgia, who just a year or so ago we were wondering, can they do something never been done before, three-peat as national champions. Now they're out in the quarterfinals, and the top 4 seeds, Oregon, Arizona State, Boise State, and now Georgia are out. Is the playoff system already flawed?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we all like parity, don't we? They lost. Well, why would we say that the playoff system is broken because the top seeds lost? I mean, this happens in the NCAA tournament with basketball. I mean, I don't think all 4 have lost that quickly, but it's been times where the top seeds didn't make it to the Elite 8. So it happens. It happens. I'm actually liking it. I'm like, okay, it's going to be a new national champion this year, and who's it going to be? I mean, because we have some teams that you like didn't think that was going to make it to the next round. So I'm curious to. I'm invested now.
You're very optimistic because the national scene, the national conversation is that this has to be blown up. You know, everyone loves the top, the cream of the crop, going head to head against each other. Underdogs, yeah, you like underdogs for betting purposes, but you don't want underdogs to win. Let's be clear. Yes, you want Cardiac Kids, you want the Heartbreak Hotel, you want all that because it's a storyline. But when it comes to that dominant team that's been there, in the back of your minds, y'all want them to win, and this is not the case. One thing that a lot of people are kind of have issues with, and I will talk about that when we come back. We're going to go to break and come back with more college football playoff talk and more. Keep it locked right here, 90.7 FM. Keep 1 Million Show.
Yes, sir.
90.7 FM, KRDP. Keep 1 Million show. We're just talking college football playoffs as Notre Dame beats Georgia 23-10. As we talked about, this game was delayed 24 hours because of the tragedy in New Orleans on Bourbon Street. Riley Leonard, the quarterback for Notre Dame, 15 for 24, 90 yards and 1 touchdown. He also had 14 carries for 80 yards. And
So
Jordan Fossen, 4 catches for 46 yards. Bo Collins, a touchdown pass on 1 catch for 13 yards.
So he only threw for 90 yards?
Yes.
Okay.
And the defense did pick up a touchdown. This was one of those like sloppy, slow defensive games. Gunnar Stockton, who's the backup quarterback for Georgia, he was 20 for 32, 234 yards, and a touchdown.
He had a pretty good game.
Trevor Etienne, 11 carries for 38 yards. And top receiver, Aaron Smith, only 1 catch for 67 yards.
Oh, he caught a bomb.
And Cash Jones, 2 catches for 37 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
23-10. Remember, the special teams of Notre Dame had a kickoff return for a touchdown. It was in the first half a field goal game. They both was kicking field goals until the end of the first half, where Notre Dame scored 10 points in 30 seconds. Stockton fumbled the ball, and Notre Dame got the ball back right after they kicked the field goal, and then the very next play they scored a touchdown. So, and then right now you have Ole Miss up on Duke 24-17 in the Gator Bowl. Texas beat Arizona State 39-31 in double overtime.
Yeah.
Ohio State beat Oregon 41-21, and it wasn't even that close. That's number 8 versus number 1. And Michigan beat Alabama 19-13 in the Real Quest Bowl.
Okay.
Now,
Michigan beat Alabama. All right.
yes, Alabama ranked 11 actually, and Michigan unranked. So I bring up Alabama because you have Boise State getting beat in the first round. There are people saying that Alabama should have been in that spot, but we talked about Boise State winning their conference.
Yeah, they won their conference
championship game. Alabama having 3 losses, not even getting to their championship game. It looked like it was only right for Boise State to leapfrog Alabama. It looks, I wouldn't say different, but they both lost. So
yeah,
it's kind of a wash. I can see if Alabama beat Michigan by 40.
Yeah, to prove a point. Yeah, look at that.
You know what I mean? Exactly. But they didn't. And the problem with Boise State is they're in the Mountain West, which is a very, very low quality of players. They don't have 4-star, 5 stars, and throughout their conference, mainly just Boise State. Right now, UNLV with NIL is getting those players as well. That's the team that they face in the Mountain West Conference game. My opinion, they need to move to a bigger conference to get that notoriety, because I think next year they won't be able to get in. People are already complaining about the first round, how it was just nothing but blowouts. You say, it's parody. You like the parody.
I do.
And the pushback on that is the fact that the juggernaut teams, for some reason, aren't getting a fair shake. They're saying that the first round bye is too much long of a wait for these teams. Should there even be a first round bye? Who knows? Because let's say they change everything, and next year it gets the same thing. Then what are you going to do the year after? There's the reports that the SEC and the Big Ten want, 3 to 4 automatic bids just for their conferences. That doesn't seem fair. You need 8 teams automatically from the SEC and the Big Ten go in? No.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make any sense. But that's what they're pushing for. But if you look at the playoffs and the path to the championship, you may have the SEC versus the Big Ten, or the Big Ten versus the Big Ten, with the Final Four right now being Penn State versus Notre Dame, which is independent, and then Texas versus Ohio State, SEC versus Big Ten.
Yeah.
2 Big Ten teams. Me personally, I would say Penn State versus Ohio State, how they're playing. And they didn't play each other in the Big Ten.
They did. They played each other this year.
Oh, yes, you're absolutely right. They did.
And Ohio State beat them.
Ohio State did.
I can't remember what the score was, but they beat them convincingly.
Yeah. So you have another rematch. I think really Ohio State is on a revenge tour, per se. Not getting to the
national championship would save Ryan Day.
Oh, of course it would.
Save him.
But with them not getting to the Big Ten title game, and yes, losing to Michigan was the reason, and Ryan Day's job is on the line, and say he does have to win the national title to keep his job, but at the same time, he's only lost like less than 15 games, and the only losses he have is to Michigan and Georgia in the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think he deserves to get fired. No.
He has like a over 90% win record.
Yeah.
But in that world, as far as college football, as far as Midwestern college football is concerned, Ohio is concerned, if you don't beat Michigan, you're fired. This is the 4th year they have not beat Michigan. After, what's the coach's name? Harbaugh wins the championship. He leaves, bolts to L.A., to the NFL. So the coach is gone. The quarterback is gone. Some of the top players go to the NFL, and Ohio State has by far the best players in the country. Young freshmen and sophomores, they still lose to Michigan. Can they win the championship?
Who Michigan?
Ohio State.
Ohio State. Oh yeah, they can win. They definitely can win. The way these teams are playing now, I haven't, for example, that Arizona State Texas game. Texas didn't blow them out. It was just some bad breaks for Arizona State. With that that was targeting. And it wasn't called. There was a non-call, and then they didn't 4th and 13. Texas gets a touchdown. That was just bad defensive play calling. So it's not like it's a dominant team out there. Yeah, Penn State beat Boise handedly, but Penn State was just a better team. And so out of all 4 teams left, is Ohio State the best team? Yes, because they did beat Penn State. They beat Penn State.
Right.
So, but I'm not ready to say that they can. I'm not ready to crown them yet because I can see. I would have Penn State beating Notre Dame. I can see Penn State winning a national championship. Yeah, I can see that.
I also can too. To me, they're a complete team, just like Ohio State. Very similar. I'll say Penn State's quarterback is a little bit better, and I would say Penn State's defense is better.
It'd be a different game if Penn State and Ohio State played again. It'd be a different game.
It would be totally different.
Yeah.
Penn State has grown. Ohio State has grown since that. This 41-21 beatdown of the number one team in the country, Oregon.
Yeah.
Will Howard.
That's crazy.
Ohio State's quarterback, 17 for 26, 319 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Trayvon Henderson, the running back, 8 carries for 94 yards, 2 touchdowns. Their other running back, Quinshawn Judson, 17 carries for 85 yards. Jeremiah Smith, 7 catches, wide receiver, 7 catches for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Emeka Egbuka, 5 catches for 72 yards and a touchdown. They boat raced him. And this kid, Jeremiah Smith, a true freshman, he's 17 or 18 years old and came out early. The number one player in his high school national, goes to Ohio State. If you've seen how this kid plays, it's amazing. It's off the charts. I'm not sure if anybody could stop him. He can most likely next year win the Heisman Trophy easily as a sophomore.
Yeah, last person to do that was Johnny Manziel, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel won the sophomore.
He can easily win it. They're already talking about he can be the number one pick in the draft. He may come out, 2027 after his, junior season. But it's not just him. They have 3 wide receivers, 2 running backs. Their quarterback is very accurate. They look like a juggernaut. The problem is, in these big games, because they did lose to Michigan, they lost to Oregon earlier in the season, but for some reason, the bigger the game, something happens to Ryan Day, and he makes a bad call or bad decisions for them to lose. Against Texas, that's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to be a close game, and Ohio State squeaks it out. But against Penn State, against their conference rival, that game it can go Penn State's way, and the only reason why I say that is because of mistakes Ohio State makes.
Yeah. I don't want to overlook Notre Dame. I don't want to do that. Who does Ohio State play? They play
Texas.
Texas.
And you don't want to overlook Texas
either.
Don't want to
overlook Texas.
Quentin Ewers is playing great with, he was injured a couple times. He has a couple injuries, but he's still, he accurate thrower. He can run the ball. Their defense is excellent.
Is he a senior? Yeah,
he's going to come out. He is. Yes.
All right. So, don't want to overlook Texas. So this Final Four right here is actually very interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. I can't wait because the next game is gonna be next week, next Saturday.
Yeah. Next week.
I can't wait. That's what I mean. It's just it's going to be a new champion. A new champion is going to be crowned.
Yeah.
So and then who's it going to be? That's
right.
It's exciting.
And the thing is, with how these games are being played, by far the best game was the Arizona State Texas game.
Great game. That was a great game.
Excellent game. Down to the wire.
The Arizona State kids don't have anything to be embarrassed about, man.
No. No.
Bad breaks. It was some bad breaks.
Yeah.
Here it is. So.
Scatterboo is the real deal.
That running back.
He can make some havoc in the league.
I saw him play against Kansas State. I was like, this dude is a mean. But it was so much. I was watching First Take, right? And Stephen A. Smith was like, you got to pass the ball if you're trying to get in the game. But he said, I'm looking at this running back. They can't stop him. He was like a man amongst boys out there. He couldn't be stopped. And Mad Dog said he voted for Scatterbrain Heisman. He gave him a third place vote.
Yeah,
I think he came in 5th place for the trophy.
And he was not invited to New York, which fueled him. They were down 16, and he single-handedly brought them back.
Yeah, single-handedly.
I
think if he could come out, I think he should come out.
Yeah.
If he can, if he's eligible. I think he should.
Right, the iron's hot right now. You got to strike while the iron's hot.
Gosh. Yeah.
And be honest with you, with Dillingham, their coach, Arizona State, they could be here to stay. In that Big 12,
should be crazy.
You see, Shadur leaving, Travis Hunter leaving, some of the players of BYU and other schools going to the NFL, and Arizona State keeps these players how they have it, and their coaching they could stay at the top or near the top of the Big 12 for years and go for playoff, every single year, try to get into playoffs.
Man, if Arizona State won a national championship, man, geez, Tempe would be on fire. Man.
Yeah, it would be crazy. It'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy.
One last thing before we go to break. I seen Bryce James, youngest son of LeBron. He committed to U of A.
Oh, for real? He gonna go to Tucson?
Yes.
U of A?
He committed on New Year's Day to you. He might have committed on his dad's birthday, but it came out that he committed to U of A.
I wonder why U of A.
Now U of A is one of the top teams.
No. They're a good team, but
yeah.
I mean, you would think something like hey, but why not
Ohio State or USC?
Yeah, but you know what? That's kind of far.
UCLA.
It's kind of far. U of A is in Tucson. It's not that far from Los Angeles.
No.
So
not at all.
And he already knows that Juju Watkins runs a USC campus, so he probably won't get too much out there. So.
Well, the thing is, this could be his best path to the NBA. Being seen, U of A does have,
they always had a good team
following.
Yeah, they always had good teams.
They're on national TV all the time.
It's
always in the tournament.
Is Sean Miller still the coach down there?
Right. It's a new coach. I'm not sure what his name is, but they're still, one of the top. Especially now they moved to the Big 12, but they're this season not doing so well, but they always have NBA talent.
Yeah.
Always have NBA talent.
Oh man, Lou Olson always had squads.
Ever since Lou Olson. Right.
Man, I wanted him to beat Duke that year. Yeah.
Right. And we're gonna come back and we're gonna get into Simone Biles, Sports Illustrated Sports Person of the Year. But is there controversy with that? We'll come right back with more Keep 1 Million Show.
Yes, sir.
And we're back. Keep 1 Million Show. I'm Dwayne.
Sean P.
90.7 FM, KRDP. And here's some scores from, this past week, bowl games. Run off some scores here. Like I said, Michigan beat Alabama 19-13 in the Relia Quest Bowl. Louisville beat Washington 35-34 in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Illinois beat South Carolina 21-17 in the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl. LSU beat Baylor 44-31 in the Kinder Texas Bowl. Penn State beat Boise State In the Fiesta Bowl, which is a quarterfinal playoff game, Penn State
right there in Glendale
beat SMU in the first round of the playoffs. North Dakota State beat South Dakota State 28-21 in the FCS Championship semifinals. Montana State beat South Dakota 31-17. Also in the FCS semifinals, Texas beat Clemson 38-24 in the first round of the playoffs. Ohio State beat Tennessee 42-17 in the first round of the playoffs. Ohio beat Jackson State 30-27 in the Staff DNA Cure Bowl. These bowl names are so crazy. Florida beat Tulane 33-8 in the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl. Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17 in the first round of the playoff. UConn beat North Carolina 27-14 in the Fenway Bowl. Nebraska beat Boston College 20-15 in the Pinstripe Bowl. TCU beat Louisiana 34-3 in the New Mexico Bowl. Iowa State beat Miami 42-41 in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Now that was weird to me. The Pop-Tart Bowl.
Yeah, they actually had the trophy was a toaster and it toasted Pop-Tarts. It was weird. Also in that game, Cam Ward, people were upset about this.
Oh yeah, I heard about
He sat out the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad about it. They were up, they were winning, at the time. We bring in the backup to get some reps. I thought he was hurt, but then they said he wasn't. And I was like, okay, fine. Your college career is over. You move on to the next quarterback, get him some reps. I mean, does this bowl mean much to them? No. It really doesn't. They got there.
They got the money.
Yeah, exactly. And they weren't in the playoff. They weren't going to move on to another round. So I'm not mad about it. He has to get ready. He did play. It's not like he didn't play. So, yeah, that was actually weird.
Yeah.
BYU beat Colorado 36-14 in the Alamo Bowl. Army beat Louisiana Tech 27-6 in the Independence Bowl. Now going back to this Colorado game, Shador and Travis Hunter played, and Shiloh played.
Yes.
All the NFL prospects did play in this game, and they had a good pep talk. It was online saying if it wasn't for BYU, they would have been in the, Big 12 championship game, and they need, like a mini revenge game and this and that, and they were hyped up and got punched dead in the mouth.
Yeah, what Mike Tyson always say, everybody got a plan. They get punched in the mouth.
And that's exactly what happened, because no one saw. People did see this coming because BYU, they were undefeated for quite a while. They was a top team for quite a while until the end of the season. So it's not like they're just some, scrub team. They're a good team. It's just the fact that how Colorado lost was shocking. They literally got ran over, and the defense bullied them. Mm-hmm. Interception. The player does the Dion dance, and I don't want to say humiliated them, but they showed out. BYU, and for a team like BYU to show out like that, it's kind of saying something.
Well, they say this wasn't people thought this was the old BYU where they don't have those like athletic players. They thought Colorado would run past them. But that one kid that returned that punt, man, he had some wheels on him.
Yeah.
He had some wheels on him. And BYU was just a better team, man. I believe if they play that game 10 times, BYU beats them eight times, man. But I will say this: the BYU quarterback threw like 3 picks. So he I think Shiloh picked them off. 3 different players picked them off. Shiloh picked them off. It was another the defensive captain of the team picked them off. And when somebody, he threw 3 straight picks. Not straight, but three straight up picks they weren't tip balls either. They were like, boom, give me that, boom, give me that, like that. But Travis Hunter had a good game. He scored a touchdown, but he scored a touchdown. They was already down big when he scored it, but he still had a good game. Shador was under pressure the whole game. The whole game. They got like Shador had one really bad play where they were in field goal range and he lost like 23 yards because he was trying to get away and they just he kept going back and they just tired. And he couldn't even throw the ball away.
Right.
It just wasn't a good game for them at all.
Well, they do have a new quarterback coming in next season.
Yeah, they had he a 4-star or 5-star?
Yeah, his nickname is Juju.
Juju, yeah, I was making fun
of him. There is
another
quarterback above him that's probably most likely gonna, compete for the starting role in the spring, in the spring and all that. My problem is, does Dion have offensive linemen coming? Because if Shador, last season, the number 1 quarterback to be sacked, and then this season, went down considerably, but he was still sacked a ton of times this season. These next quarterbacks, they may, they'd be under the same pressure. You have to have those guys in the trenches.
Yeah. They fixed the D-line. They fixed their D-line.
They did.
They fixed their D-line. They got to work on that O-line. They really do. They need to work on that O-line. Like they say, like football players are always saying, championship teams are built in the trenches. When you get your D-line and your O-line. And, it's going to be interesting to see what Colorado looks like next year because I give Dion all the credit in the world. Like 2 years ago, this team only won 1 game. Last year, they won 4 games. This year, they were like 1 win from the college football playoffs.
Right.
I mean, they got to a bowl game. So I'm real curious to see what it's going to be next year.
And he's obviously the coach next season. The season after that, I think he's going to still be at Colorado. There's definitely if they have a losing season or a season not like this, even if it's 8-9 wins and you go back to the Alamo Bowl or Independence Bowl or something like that, there's going to be so many people saying he's leaving. And I don't think he should. I think he should stay. Maybe if he leaves to another college team, not necessarily to the NFL. I don't think the NFL is for him.
I believe it. I agree with you. I think he should stay on, but the NFL is going to be his cup of tea. I believe that next year, because I said last year they was going to get to a bowl game this year. I believe they can get to a bowl game next year as well. They'll win like 8, 9, 10 games. They'll get to a bowl game. I don't know about winning the Big 12 though. So until they really improve that offensive line.
Right, exactly. And quickly moving on, you have in the NFL, the top teams right now, the Vikings, the Lions, the Eagles. Vikings, Lions are going to fight for that number 1 seed. The Eagles did something interesting, and they're not going to play Saquon Barkley in the last game against the Giants. He's 101 yards away from breaking the single-season rushing record held by Eric Dickerson. Is that a smart move or not?
Honestly, I wanted to see him play. I was like, play him the first 2 quarters. And if he doesn't get it within the first 2 quarters, then yank him. But I believe that they should play him. He's only 101 yards from that. I believe he can get it. Even if he had to play a little bit of the third quarter. Like I believe he could get that record. and to get it against the Giants, the team that discarded him like that, and and people are sitting up there saying, "Oh, well, he can get hurt." You know, remember last year, AJ Brown got hurt in a meaningless game, and he couldn't play against Tampa Bay in the playoffs. Like, okay, I get that, but you can get hurt just walking out here, stepping out the shower. You can get hurt playing with your kids. I mean, you can get hurt on the first play in the playoff game.
Exactly.
I mean, look at, even though it wasn't a playoff game, a couple of seasons ago, Garoppolo got hurt on like the second play of the game, broke his foot. You can't play like that. You can't be like, oh, I could get hurt. Scared, now don't get me wrong. I get why college players do it, because you're looking for that contract, that guaranteed money. So you don't want to have a torn ACL going into the draft. 100% get that. And I get why Deion had Travis, Shador, and Shiloh play, because it's a bowl game. You know, go out here and improve yourself and everything. Even though I kind of didn't really agree with it, but I get it, because the score would have been a whole lot worse if they wouldn't have played. So I believe, as a fan, as somebody that likes Saquon, even when he played for the Giants, I liked him. Hated playing against him. But I liked him. He's a good dude, man. Let him go get it, man.
Right.
But with that, you would have to play your offensive line as well. You got to play all your starters, and the line is definitely going to protect them and block for him. So,
right, it's
I think
an interesting situation going against the whole team, the Giants. I guess he didn't want to be petty.
That's not Saquon style, man.
But he was petty in the commercial he did for Unisom. If you go ahead and see that commercial.
I see it, yeah.
It is amazing. I have to say, touche, Saquon, you got it. You know, he said, I heard people have hard time sleeping. So here's Unisom. He's in bed. He's like, I don't have that problem. I'm sleeping. I sleep good. But if you have that problem, here, you take Unisom. It was a direct shot at the owner of the Giants, Jim Mora. But for him to go against the Giants and break a all-time record, that had been icing on the cake for him. He already has the single-season record for the Philadelphia Eagles, and people want to compare and contrast with him with the Giants. It's not even no comparison. The Eagles are just an all-around better team, and that's why he's doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Just know that the Giants didn't do what they're supposed to do, not just to keep him, but they didn't do what they're supposed to do, period. And that's why they're where they're at, being now number 4 in the draft order, because they won the game against the Colts. The game they were supposed to lose. They won. So now the Patriots have the number one pick in the draft. We'll see what happens in Week 18, but our last topic is what I had saw before we got here at KRDP 90.7 FM. Simone Biles is the Person of the Year for Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, Sports Illustrated, all right.
Caitlin Clark was the Person of the Year for Associated Press.
In Time Magazine, right? She was on the cover of Time.
I think so.
Yeah.
Now, online, there's a huge debate. Who is the Person of the Year? Simone Biles or Caitlin Clark? Me, personally, I say Simone Biles because of what she did in the Olympics, what she overcame, her dominating performance against a gymnast that was younger than her, in her prime, the Brazilian, who is actually the number 1 gymnast in the world. She goes out and beats her. She did lose, got the silver medal to her in one event.
Yeah,
won the all around and all that, and won 3 golds and 1 silver. Regarded as the greatest gymnast of all time. Yeah. Has 2, maybe 3 moves that no one ever can do.
That's what in their band because she's the only one that could do them.
Right. She actually did this, the Simone Biles 2 in the Olympics. It's like a double backflip. Yeah, it's amazing. The thing is, we talked about this and you know, the contrast with Caitlin Clark. There is no comparison. How do you feel about this debate?
Well, Simone Biles went out, did what she was supposed to do. Of course, she didn't get all golds because Rebecca Andrade got the gold on the floor. But once it's on the floor,
Yeah.
she got the gold on the floor, and so she got silver on the floor. But then Simone Biles got the team gold, got the all around gold, and she got something else. She dominated. And Caitlyn didn't win a national championship, didn't win a chip. She got to the playoffs, got swept. I mean, Simone Biles was dominant. And you could argue Gabby Thomas. She won all gold. One gold in 200, one gold 4x1, one gold 4x4. You could argue that. Caitlyn got the AP and was on front of Time magazine. And Simone and she received the Sports Illustrated one. To me, I don't have a dog in the fight. To me, it was a wash. I say it's Simone Biles. That's what I say. But hey, if people want to argue about it and they want Caitlyn to win everything, then fine.
Can't we all just get along?
Yeah.
Seems like they could both, you know, be in the same world.
Look, Caitlyn's going to win this award. She's going to win this award multiple times. Simone Biles only can do it once every 4 years.
Right. Exactly. But there are people that want to tear this apart. But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But we're going to come right back with more. Keep 1 million show. Keep locked right here, 90.7 FM, KRDP. It's New Year's. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, sir.